late, and I'm excited to be here with so many impressive women and a few gentlemen of taste and discernment, Director Larson and guests. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this full council of the Governor's Council on Women and Girls. We are so delighted to have you all here in person and some folks who are watching from home. My vice chair, Department of Children and Families, Commissioner Vanessa Durantis. Thank you. She's going to provide a few welcoming remarks. So Commissioner, please go ahead.
Very brief, and thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Vanessa Durantis, the Commissioner of the Connecticut Department of Children and Families and the Vice Chair of the Governor's Council on Women and Girls. We are very excited today as you see this esteemed panel of young women voices that you'll hear a little bit more about in a minute. So I will stop talking so you could hear from them, but we're welcome to all of you here physically in the room and in the gallery, as well as those who are joining us virtually.
Commissioner Durantis, thank you so much, and a warm welcome to all of our agency commissioners, directors, and designees and legislators. We know everybody is busy during this legislative session, so we appreciate your taking the time to join us today to help us with the council's work. Today, we're focusing on the voices of our girls when it comes to our council. We are probably trying to pack a lot into our agenda today, but we know you're all up for it because we pack a lot into all of our agendas. So what we're going to do is we're going to hear our presentations first, and then if we have time, we will get into our council subcommittee updates. But if not, I also wanted to just say that we do have some new faces on the council because we've had some transition in our agency over the past few months. And I want to let you know that at our July meeting that we will do a roll call so that you can be introduced to our new leaders who are joining us. And at this time, we're going to move on to our presentations. So first on our list, we have Destiny Fontan and Janessa Pearson. They are students at Capital Prep Magnet School, and they will be highlighting the annual Social Justice Conference. So ladies, please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Destiny Fontan. I'm a senior at Capital Prep. I would like to start off by thanking Lieutenant Governor, obviously, for allowing me to speak here. So this is a social justice project, and it focuses on the lack of health insurance provided for Black and Latino, low-income Black and Latino communities. Basically, I'm just doing a research, and I'm asking students from grades 9 to college to, sorry. I'm asking students from grades 9 to college and asking them about information they know about health insurance, the good kind, how to get it, and like what do they know more about it. What I plan on doing is I plan on giving more lessons. Obviously, I'm only 17. There's just so much I know about health insurance. So I do have a consultant who would come in, do a Zoom call, and allow them to learn more about health insurance and how to do it, how to help, because I know from my experience, health insurance is hard to get, and the good kind, more coverage. And I'm just focusing on getting better in our community, basically.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Janessa, and I'm also from Capital Prep. And first off, I want to thank you for inviting me here and letting me speak. So, with my social justice project, I'm doing teacher retention in the Hartford district. And I don't know if you guys know, but we have been seeing a decline in teachers recently, especially before the pandemic, but after it has increased dramatically. And that really made me want to narrow in and focus on what are the reasons and what can be done. So what I'm trying to do is I've sent out surveys to people who have worked in the Hartford district as well as who have left the Hartford district, and I gave them a survey and I wanted to know, why did they leave? Why did they leave? And if they were to come back, what would they expect to change? You know? And that's basically what I've been asking them. And part of my solution is to hopefully figure out what is the common issue that I'm seeing. Is it compensation? Is it professional development? Is it just teachers not being treated like how they're supposed to? Some teachers feel like, they could be replaced in a second, or like they're not valuable, So I wanted to narrow in what is the direct cause, even though there's multiple factors, what is the direct cause of teacher retention, and how can we go about making it the lack of teacher retention, and how can we go about making it better? I hopefully hope to get a sit down with one of the stakeholders and somebody who can know, either somebody knows about teachers' compensation or how to better professional development, so that we as students can get back to how education should be or used to be, better education.
Wonderful. And I'll tell you that in addition to knowing that we've lost a lot of teachers and teacher retention is an issue, we need so many new teachers because of retirements and because of people leaving the profession. We've seen this in the healthcare profession as well. We've seen a lot of nurses who are under stress during COVID, teachers under stress during COVID, and then they left to do something else. So we'll be very interested to hear what you find out. But also, I hope this perhaps inspires you to maybe think about being a teacher. And so I love that you're looking at this, because there is no better profession to focus on the future than teaching. So I love that you want to hone in on this problem and see what we can do about it. And I would recommend that you might want to speak to AFT Connecticut or CEA Connecticut, because they represent teachers. And so they may have some data already, because they might be losing members to other opportunities. So thank you for that. And I also wanted to say to Destiny that health insurance is a huge issue. We want everybody to have access to affordable, quality health care. And I think it's great what you're doing, because some people may be unaware that they could sign up today for Access Health Connecticut insurance and not have to pay a dime, or to pay just a small amount of money. They may not realize that there are opportunities right now to get healthcare coverage. So we'll be very interested to find out what you learn.
This is a senior project for all of our seniors at Capital Prep, and there would be a selected few that would be getting distinction, which is on May 6th. So.
All right, so moving right along to presentations from future leaders, we are so privileged to have the Kid Governor representatives, and they're here to talk about the 2023 agenda. So we're going to go to our Kid Governor, Ellie Mendez, who is present with one of her cabinet members, Scarlett Bolio. And Ellie is a student at Monroe Elementary School, and Scarlett is a student at Andover Elementary School. And they are going to share with us some important issues that their cabinet is addressing this year. So, Ellie, please go ahead.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this meeting of the Kid Governors Council on Women and Girls. I am honored to be here to discuss my leadership experiences and platform. My name is Ellie Mendez, and I am the 2023 Kid Governor of Connecticut. I'm from Monroe, and I go to Monroe Elementary School. Today, I will be talking about my platform, my term as Kid Governor, my cabinet, and what I am working on during my one-year term. But first, let me tell you a little about how I became Kid Governor. Kid Governor is a program for fifth graders who want to make a difference in their community. It is run by the Connecticut Democracy Center at the Connecticut's Old State House. A fifth grader can become Kid Governor by running for office. They do this by choosing a community issue that is important to them and coming up with a three-step platform to solve the issue. Knowing how to help and be kind is a very important trait to have to be Kid Governor. Students vote in a primary election to decide who can represent their school as Kid Governor nominee. There can only be one candidate per school. Whoever wins the primary election must work with their class to make a 3-minute video that explains their platform and community issue. Finally, 7 statewide videos goes out to all the registered 5th grade voters, and they vote for the student and platform they want to support. The student with the most votes becomes the Kid Governor, and the top 6 runners-up become the Kid Governor's cabinet. I was elected by 5th graders last fall, and I am serving a one-year term as the 2023 Kid Governor. Today, I will tell you a little about my platform. My Kid Governor platform is express and address your feelings. It is about helping kids with anxiety and depression. I chose my platform because through my past experiences, I have learned that there are not enough resources for kids in mental health. I also chose this platform because some parents believe that symptoms of anxiety and depression are just a phase and their child will get over them. Or maybe they have a behavioral disorder. But really, kids' mental health is a very real and very important. My goal is to be the voice for all the kids out there that feel like they can't speak up or need the courage to do so. My platform has 3 points. Let me tell you what they are. My first point is to educate the students about signs of anxiety and depression and strategies to cope with those feelings. My second point is to promote strategies for Connecticut 5th graders to communicate their feelings. My final point is to create a digital mental health hub with uplifting messages and interactive resources to inspire kids. Let me tell you a little about each point. I recently accomplished the first point of my platform. I wanted to educate students about the signs of anxiety and depression and strategies to cope with those feelings. In order to do this, I hosted a live educational program for students in Connecticut. I interviewed psychologists from our state, including Dr. Stephanie Bozak from the Department of Children and Families, Dr. Lornell Volta from Connecticut Children's, and Dr. Noel Cassiano from the University of Hartford. During this program, I also promoted my idea to have a tap-out light station in classrooms across Connecticut. Here's how a tap-out station works. If a student is having a big feeling in class, they can take a break at the tap-out light station to reset. He or she can excuse themselves and walk over to the tap-out light station. The student can sit down and tap the color red, indicating that they need a break. The tap-out light station can have a comfy seat and relaxing activities that the student can use for a break. When the break is over, the student can tap the light and change the color green, indicating that they have reset and can rejoin their class in whatever they are doing. My school, Monroe Elementary School, has already piloted the tap-out light station in 7 classrooms. I hope that more Connecticut 5th graders will see my educational program and find strategies that will help them cope with their big feelings at school.
I need one of those lights for my office.
The next point on my platform is to promote strategies for Connecticut 5th graders to communicate their feelings. I'm working on this point right now. I will film a video where I will interview a school psychologist named Caitlin Chabot. Ms. Chabot and I will talk about the importance of mental health, how to identify what you are feeling, and how to tell what caused you to feel that way, and how to communicate with those feelings in a healthy way. One way that I'll recommend for kids to communicate their feelings at school is having a turn my frown upside down mailbox. That is a way for students to talk to their teachers about how they are feeling. Teachers can set up a mailbox so they can write their feelings down instead of saying them out loud. The teacher can read the letters and help the students. This might make communicating your feelings easier for kids who are more shy. When the video goes live, I hope lots of students watch it and learn about the strategies to communicate how they feel. Finally, I will create a digital mental health hub with uplifting messages and interactive resources to inspire kids. I want this to be a place where kids can go and learn about mental health in a positive way. I plan to research articles, videos, and other resources about mental health that are meant for kids. I will put them all in one place for Connecticut students to access. I am also collecting uplifting messages right now through my poster contest. I am partnering with the Department of Children and Families and CT Family Day to host a contest for the 5th grader students in Connecticut. Through their poster artwork, they will need to answer the question: what is an uplifting or inspiring message for kids who are struggling with anxiety and depression? The finalists for the contest will be featured on my mental health hub. As a kid governor, I have my very own cabinet that helps me complete the 3 points of my platform. I also help them complete their platforms in their schools or towns. The members that are in my cabinet are the 6 other finalists from the statewide election. So even if a finalist doesn't win the election for kid governor, they are still a big part of the program and have an important leadership role. My cabinet and I meet every month regarding what we are doing with our platforms and think of new ideas. We have a lot of fun, and my cabinet is very important to me. My cabinet members are Aaron from Hartford, Jacob from Hartford, Liliana from Milford, Maxence from Middlebury, Scarlett from Andover, and Sean from Southbury. You can learn more about them and their platforms by visiting ct.kidgovernor.org/cabinet 2023. Now I would like you to introduce you to one of my members of my cabinet, Scarlett Bellew. She will say a few words about her platform and the things she has done this year in the cabinet.
Hello, my name is Scarlett and I'm a member of the 2023 Kid Governor's Cabinet. I'm a 5th grader at Andover Elementary School in Andover. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this meeting of the Kid Governor's Council on Women and Girls. I'm here to talk to you about my experience as a member of the Kid Governor's Cabinet. I ran for Kid Governor on a platform that addresses littering. I chose littering as my community issue because I see litter and how it negatively affects the environment every day in my community. I would like to help keep Connecticut clean by leading community trash cleanup walks to pick up litter in public areas. By bringing awareness to Connecticut residents, together we can reduce litter. I want to help solve the community issue of littering with these 3 points. My first point is to make a club that's open to the public that provides community outreach to expand participation in litter cleanup. It's important to accomplish this point because the more people we involve, the better our chances are to help end this state and worldwide problem. It makes a big impact with the people who have this experience. For example, when I went on my first trash walk, I was amazed by the amount of litter I saw on community roads, and it's important that people feel a similar way. My second point is to create a network to educate people about littering and raise a community awareness through virtual and in-person materials. This point is important too because many people from all around the world can be enlightened on how much litter there really is. Hopefully, it will stop them from littering too. This network can also be useful for people who just want to learn, even people who want to set up their own trash walk. My third point is to organize a Connecticut Trash Walk Day for schools and communities along with other cleanup activities. This is really ambitious but so important because if people around the state can get involved, more towns can get cleaned by the help of community members. The participation from community members is what will make this possible. I'm already hard at work on my 3-point platform. Currently, I am working on a school-wide cleanup involving my school and 4 other towns. It will take place on April 21st. My goal is to make the grounds cleaner in preparation of Earth Day, which is the day after. I have created a how to organize a trash walk presentation to help other schools in Connecticut hold a trash walk too, and wrote letters to other kids who ran for kid governor on similar platforms and asked them to hold their own trash walks. I have also been working on a school assembly at Andover Elementary School to kick off a school-wide trash walk. I will be talking about the importance of keeping our state clean and going from classroom to classroom, handing out supplies to start the trash walk. I'm also involved in organizing a town-wide cleanup. We will be going to 3 different public locations to clean our town. I'm so excited to be making a difference with my community issue. My term in the cabinet will also begin on Inauguration Day. I was sworn into office with Ellie and the other cabinet members. On Inauguration Day, I was excited and nervous to meet new people and start my term as a cabinet member. Getting sworn into office was so surreal. I was worried that I was going to freeze up when we had questions asked. There were so many important people that I had never met before. When I first stepped into the Kid Governor's office at the old State House, I immediately thought this is amazing. But more importantly, I was even more excited to get to know my fellow cabinet members and the Kid Governor. Soon, I learned that my cabinet members and the Kid Governor were amazing role models as well as people. I was able to start spreading awareness about littering right away on Inauguration Day. For example, Kid Governor Ellie, the other cabinet members, and I got interviewed by the news. The interviewer asked me the question, "Why did you choose the platform of littering?" My immediate response was that I chose this platform because this is something I see every day in my community, and I want to do something about it. I expressed that I don't want animals and our earth to die because of our poor decisions. I want to let people know of the serious problem going on right now, and the news was the perfect way to get through to people. I wanted to make more people aware of this serious situation. I have gotten to do so many cool things already as a cabinet member. But my favorite part so far has been the cabinet meetings because I get to communicate and form connections with my cabinet members and Kid Governor Ellie. I also enjoy cabinet meetings because I get to hear all the amazing progress my cabinet and Kid Governor Ellie are making regarding their platforms. I also appreciate the feedback my cabinet and Kid Governor Ellie give me on my platform. Before I go, if you know anybody who might be interested in organizing a trash walk in their community, please have them email me. You can find my email address on the screen. It's cabinet@ct.kidgovernor.org. I would be happy to share my resources with you. Thank you for this opportunity to share my thoughts with you regarding my platform and my role as a 2023 cabinet member. I look forward to continuing my work with Ellie and the cabinet. Now back to you, Ellie.
Thank you, Scarlett. Now I'm going to tell you about my term as Key Governor, including some of the people I've met and the places I've been. I kicked off my term as Key Governor at my inauguration ceremony. My inauguration was at the old State House in Hartford. My family and my class were there, and also the cabinet members' families and classes. There were even dignitaries from our state, like Lieutenant Governor Susan Bisowitz and Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas. One thing I did at my inauguration ceremony was take an oath of office. In my oath, I promised to support the 5th graders of Connecticut. That is very important because they voted for me and worked hard and helped kids across Connecticut. I know that I will always have the support of my 5th grade constituents. Here is the video of me taking my oath.
oath to the office of 2023 Connecticut's Kid Governor, Ellie Mendez. Please join me at the podium. I would also like to invite Ellie's family to stand behind her. Yes, please come in. I know you're proud. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the fifth graders and students of Connecticut during your one-year term and so long as you continue a citizen thereof, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of Connecticut's Kid Governor to the best of your ability, so help you God? If so, please say I do. Congratulations.
After I was sworn in, I also made a speech. I thanked everyone who helped me become Kid Governor, and I also promised to work hard on my platform. Another cool thing I get to do as Kid Governor is I have my own blog. That is where I write blog posts and talk about where I've been working on my platform. My cabinet members are also a big part of my blog because they're posts about their platforms too. You can visit my blog and read me and my cabinet members at ctkgle.blogspot.com. Being the 2023 Connecticut's Kid Governor is important leadership and a role in our state. I'm so happy that as a girl, I can show other girls that they can be leaders too. Before I go, I would like each and every one of you to take a moment and ask yourself, what made you smile today? Try asking yourself this question every day and see all the amazing things that come to your mind. I share the highlight of my day every night with my family at the dinner table, and it helps me. I can't express how grateful I am for being here today. Thank you for all taking the time for me to listen to Scarlett and me. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Ellie and Scarlett, thank you both so much. And I will just share with the council that the Kid Governor program has been going on for 6 years, and 5 of the 6 kid governors were girls. So if only we can learn about this for the future. Adults, take note from these very poised young ladies. And I am so glad, Ellie, that you focused on mental health for kids, because this is something that our legislators and our administration has been focusing on. We passed a landmark bill last year, and we're doing more in the legislature this year. So thank you so much for what you are doing. And I want to say to Scarlett, thank you so much for focusing on litter cleanup. I think this is the problem in every community across Connecticut. The commissioner of Department of Children and Families has one suggestion for you. My suggestion is that through the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities and the Council on Small Towns, you could reach out to the appropriate committees in each town, because at the town and city level, there are environment committees that might be able to help you with your trash cleanup. So that's my idea. And Commissioner, I know you have a really good idea.
I do. And so to Scarlett, my counterpart at the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is Commissioner Katie Dykes. And she and I have partnered on a conservation corps. And I'd like to invite you to our wilderness school to see what those kids are doing over the summer to help clean up some of the trails around Connecticut. And Ellie, I could not be more proud as the commissioner who is over the children's mental health. You talked about meeting Dr. Stephanie Bozak, who works for DCF, and we are extremely proud to have you as an ambassador for children's mental health. Lieutenant Governor, watch your seat because they're coming for you.
Absolutely. All right. So we want to thank both of you for your wonderful presentations, and we wish you success completing the rest of your terms, but it looks like both of you are well on your way to doing what you promised for the 5th graders of Connecticut. So thank you both so much. All right, so now we're going to move on to our next presentation with Serena Kulsak-Dinham, who is a senior at Greenwich Academy. She and her friends started an organization called Students for Personal Finance Education, or SPFE. Pending before the legislature is Senate Bill 1165, which would mandate half a credit in personal financial management and financial literacy for students to graduate from high school. Serena provided very strong testimony during the public hearing, and the bill has been voted favorably out of committee and is pending before the legislature. So Serena, please take it away.
Thank you so much for having us. So my name is Serena.
And my name is Yang. So we're, as mentioned, both seniors at Greenwich Academy, and we co-founded this student advocacy organization because of things that we noticed from our classes and experience. And we hope that this presentation will help you all understand why we created the initiative, what we've done so far, and why personal finance education is so important, especially for women and girls.
Next slide, please. So why did we create SPFE? Next slide, please. So growing up, I was really lucky to have a mother who urged me to learn about personal finance. She worked in investment banking, and every night at dinner, we would watch Squawk Box. So it really gave me a taste of the finance world. Because of that, I really wanted to take a personal finance course in my sophomore year of high school. And that course ended up being one of the most formative ones I've taken thus far. I learned what a credit score was, the importance of building an emergency fund, and I also learned the building blocks of different financial securities. But what I didn't like about the course was how I was one out of 2 other girls in a horde of boys. That meant that my female classmates were missing out on this knowledge. Next slide, please. So that got me interested in these questions. Why were certain people less financially educated, and how can I fix this? So I started to conduct interviews in my own community, and one of my classmates said, "Personal finance is essential to navigating adulthood. Oftentimes, I wish I understood more about how taxes, investing, and credit cards work, as I currently know little to nothing on these topics." So after hearing that, I knew that people in my school would help advocate for this issue, so I asked for my friend Ying's help.
Yeah, so we started to do some more research to grasp the depth of this problem. And as we did more, we realized that personal finance, the knowledge gap was present nationwide, as 74% of teens feel as if they don't have a good grasp of personal finance, and 73% of teens want more financial education. Next slide, please. Also, we learned that certain states have stronger financial literacy legislation than other states. So as in this graph, what really shocked us was that Connecticut received a D grade-wise for its financial literacy legislation.
Oh, I hate that.
The US, yes, is pretty low, as F is the lowest you can get. And this is mainly because students are not required to take a semester-long personal finance course or any class that has personal finance embedded in it compared to other states. So there's 21 other states that have such similar requirements.
The next slide, please. So this is the time in our process when we knew that we wanted to answer this problem statewide. So we started to reach out to as many state reps and senators. In order to make our case even stronger, we had to provide convincing evidence that personal finance mandates actually worked. So we did a lot of research, and we looked at a lot of meta-analyses. And a lot of these showed that financial education programs have positive causal treatment effects, both in financial knowledge and in behavior. For example, it increases credit scores, reduces non-student debt, reduces default rates, and also decreases delinquency rates. And what I really enjoyed to hear is that these effects are largest for low-income students and first-generation students, and they're also cost-effective. So when we were talking with legislators, a lot of them voiced concerns about implementing these programs because implementing them would be very expensive. But ultimately, we weighed that the cost of $60 per person, it was worth it, especially because personal finance, these skills last for a lifetime, and they really help students make smart financial decisions that can save them a lot of money in the future. Next slide, please. And this is also just another graph just to show the effects of personal finance education across outcomes. You can see how a lot of them are above this dotted line of 0. So that's really great to see. Next slide, please.
So after talking to legislators, we learned that implementing strong personal finance requirements is gladly a bipartisan issue. So we received positive responses of support from Democrats and Republicans. And our first sponsor was a Republican, Harry Aurora, which we started out with in February 2022. And then later on in our bill proposals, we switched to Democrats, Representative Meskers and Arzeno as our sponsors, which shows that it's bipartisan and that we can work with anybody on this issue. Next slide, please.
And this support isn't just confined to legislators. As of now, we have over 200 community sponsors comprising of parents, teachers, and students, 1 active bill, and 4 partnerships with national nonprofits. Yeah, and at one point we even went canvassing in our local Greenwich community and passed out flyers to gain support. Next slide, please. This experience has been so enriching for both of us, especially working in a larger team with mostly women. It's been really empowering to be able to have an outlet where our voices can be heard.
Also, just talking with our classmates and our community has really taught us why a lot of young people are not engaged in personal finance, and especially with the pressure of getting into college. I know a lot of my friends want to prioritize AP classes or harder curriculum classes that they load their schedules with, and as a consequence, they don't have time for personal finance or usually neglect those type of courses because they aren't weighted to boost your GPA. And I'll also admit that personal finance might not sound as the most glamorous title for a class, especially for seniors to take. I think but once you take the class and you get exposed to the material, you begin to like it a lot more and appreciate the value of it. That's also why we urge schools to expose students as much as possible, even if it's just in one assembly. And another great option is having a personal finance week, which is similar to what a lot of schools do for FCD.
Next slide, please. So after advocating for personal finance, we also realized that this is a social justice issue and a potential solution to educational or financial equities in the future across gender, race, and socioeconomic status. And this is why this is so important for the future. Next slide, please. So if you look at this graph, you can tell that more males, those in higher income brackets, and people of Caucasian or Asian descent tend to know more about personal finance. So that's why it's really important for young people like us to support stronger personal finance requirements going forward, because they could potentially close achievement gaps and empower students that represent these diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, and in turn will create a more egalitarian community. Next slide, please.
Next slide.
Going forward,
okay, sorry. So going forward, we hope that this initiative can reach the rest of the nation. So unfortunately, Connecticut is not the only state with really weak personal finance requirements, as you can probably see from this map of all the states, as evidence of the blue and red states. So we're looking forward to expand our organization in New York and California. But as of right now, we're focused on our efforts in Connecticut. Next slide, please. And before we end, we just wanted to share certain resources that helped us a lot in the past. So if you're interested or like to learn more about personal finance, both of these are free and really digestible resources that we began with.
The next slide, please. And of course, please join our effort if you're interested in our cause. If you want to bring financial literacy to your classroom, click this link to access an already organized personal finance curriculum. This link is through one of our partners, the Young Investor Society. And these resources, I assure you, are super helpful, especially if you are a student who wants to spearhead their own chapter in their school, or a teacher who just needs some resources to bounce off of and wants to teach personal finance in the classroom. The next slide, please. So as always, thank you so much for your time and attention. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us via our emails on the screen. And also we have our LinkedIn's.
Thank you.
So thank you both for that presentation. I will just say in Connecticut's defense, we are one of the best states in America for women and families. We may fall short on financial literacy, but we will hopefully address that in this legislative session. And we want you to know that this council has been busily putting together all the state resources on financial literacy in one place, because what we found when we started our council, we found that various state departments and agencies had some great resources, but they were all over the place. And so we have put them together in one place. And I love that you are focusing on helping young people, particularly young women, because one of the other issues that we're trying to address, and one of the reasons we are one of the best states in America for women, is we have a smaller pay gap. But in order to, one way to deal with the pay gap is to make sure that your financial literacy skills are very strong so that you are investing and saving wisely and hopefully studying and going into STEM fields, which are the highest paying. So we want to thank you so much. I'll look forward to being in the state Senate and presiding over the Senate when this financial literacy bill is passed. So thank you, ladies.
Excellent. Yep. I would just really want to applaud you for disaggregating your data and pulling out the equity issues. I really appreciated the bullet that talked about decreases in delinquency rates, and people don't think about the ripple effect of really just increasing and raising awareness for something as important as financial literacy. So thank you so much for raising that as well.
All right, so thank you so much. And we'll have one more round of applause for them. All right, so now our presentation is focusing on the voices of girls in STEM. And we're going to move on to our final presentation by members of Armored Artemises, which is a gender minority robotics team made up of middle school students and high school students in Glastonbury. And ladies, did I learn that you have won a competition? Haven't you been involved? And I hope you'll tell us about that as well, because this is very exciting to learn about. So please take it away.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Harleton Tut. I am the captain and co-founder of First Tech Challenge Team 16008, the Armored Artemises from Glastonbury, Connecticut. Our team is a part of a worldwide organization called First Robotics, a global robotics community preparing young people for the future. We are specifically a part of the First Tech Challenge program, where middle school and high schoolers work as a team to build, code, and design a robot. They then compete with their robots in a unique challenge each year. Together, we learned vital skills ranging from engineering and business to working as a team. This team was founded with the mission to create a welcoming environment for girls to explore robotics and find their place within a community. We've personally seen that in elementary school teams, they'll have a gender makeup of around 4 girls to every 6 boys. We've then observed these ratios decreasing as we go into high school, leading to a ratio of around 25% girls to 75% boys. From our personal experience, we've concluded that this may be due to a lack of representation or the environment on the teams. This is why our team was originally founded as an all-girls team with the goal to decrease the drop-off we've observed of participation of girls in FIRST robotics programs. Next slide, please. Since then, we've expanded into a gender minority team to also encompass transgender and non-binary students. Our team has been together for 4 years going strong and have been the Connecticut State Champion 3 years in a row. Over the years, we've encountered various hurdles. When founding the team, our school system declined to support us, leading us to start up as a community team with no school affiliation. Luckily, we have been able to apply for and receive a grant from a local education foundation, which covered a majority of our funding for our rookie year. Next slide, please. We've also learned the importance of building and maintaining connections in our community. Our first community has taught us crucial lessons ranging from how to manage a team to little tricks and resources that save a lot of time. Specifically, we've become strong partners with the teams at the all-boys high school, Xavier High School in Middletown. Through this friendship, we've worked to build a strong foundation for youth robotics. As a team, we also reach out inside our STEM community, such as at manufacturing companies and engineers working in various fields. This helps prepare for after we graduate the program by being able to see the real life applications of the work we do. Now I'm going to hand it over to Bella.
Next slide, please. Hello, my name is Bella Weedman. Along with making connections in the STEM community, our team has made connections with other organizations in Connecticut. During our time in FIRST, we have given demonstrations at fairs and taught others outside of the STEM community about STEM and engineering through small activities such as letting students drive our robot. This is a part of our mission to introduce youth to STEM through fun, hands-on experiences that are accessible to all. We have gone to multiple STEM events at schools in the Glastonbury and Hartford area to give robot demonstrations and teach future generations about STEM. Going to the school events specifically is important to our team because many of us were introduced to FIRST through some similar STEM fairs. At the STEM fairs, we have learned how to give presentations and demonstrations. This has helped our team be successful during our own judging sessions. Now, our team is more comfortable with talking about our stories and successes in front of large audiences. Not only that, but we've also learned different strategies for staying calm and maintaining confidence for our judging. Next slide, please. Our team has also made connections with the Girl Scout and even Boy Scout troops in the Glastonbury area and gave presentations on the iterative design process and on manufacturing to spark interest in robotics and engineering. Discovering the different ways students learn helped our team be successful when we needed to teach other members within our team new skills and when teaching students from all age groups and backgrounds. Next slide, please. To keep interest within FIRST in STEM, our team hosted the Younger Robotics League's state competition, which taught us about coordination, planning, budgeting, and fundraising. The knowledge we gained while hosting this event has led us to be successful this year, as our team will be partnering with the University of Connecticut to hold an off-season robotics event for the New England area. We used our knowledge of event coordination to set up a website for the event where teams and volunteers are able to register. Additionally, the state competition taught us about logistics. Learning about logistics led our team to be successful when organizing and making lists of items that are necessary for our events to run smoothly. I'm going to hand it off to Ashley now.
Next slide, please. There are about 1 million ways that we can apply our STEM abilities into our everyday lives. As a team, we always learn new math skills that we use in building our robot, that in turn can be applied within our classes in school. For example, some of our team members are learning trigonometry during building or coding a robot before they even learned it in school. Personally, when I was learning the code for robotics, I was actually learning the same principles as my coding class in school. Getting a better understanding because of robotics, I aced the class, fortunately. Not only is it better building these skills at an early age, but it really helps you grow in ways you thought you couldn't have before. As a build captain, I've always been improving my abilities by understanding how to build and code our robot. That way, I'm able to teach my teammates so they can understand, develop, and increase their building skills. In this experience, I've applied it to my mechanical engineering class in school by helping my classmates learn the building skills to construct a car. And of course, when you build a car, you need a fundraise for it. Just like writing business letters for fundraising for my team, I'm teaching my engineering class how to write one also. Next slide, please. Outside of STEM skills, our leadership and communication skills have also increased, especially for me. At competitions, I went from being the one that's anxious and nervous to being one to help supporting my team when they're in need and calming my team members down to help them focus and perform greatly. We've developed our communication skills by talking to other teams and getting to know them more as a team and individually. I had to talk to companies, big and small, to help fundraise for events and for my team. Even talking to people of all ages at fairs, festivals, and other events to increase awareness of STEM and FIRST. With hands-on learning, it gives us a different perspective and the content and experience compared to in-school learning. I'll hand it off to Anya.
Hi, my name is Anya, and as we've been in first in STEM, we've not only been able to develop skills which we can apply to robotics, but also to our everyday life. We strengthen our teamwork skills by working in small groups within the team, and for team discussions, talking as a whole. During our first few meetings, we quickly learned that the best way to keep everybody on the same page was to hold discussions every meeting, where we talk about our goals for the meeting and split up tasks that we want to accomplish for the day accordingly. When distributing work or learning a new skill, we use a buddy system in which an already experienced student teaches or guides another student with learning that skill. In addition, our team splits responsibilities among different roles. And every season, we switch around the roles so everyone can get to experience different jobs, such as those with more outreach related tasks and responsibilities versus those with more robot related tasks and responsibilities. We use this buddy system to teach everyone the skills they may not have learned in their original role. Not only do the novice students learn something new, but the experienced students gain a stronger understanding of the topic by explaining and teaching it to someone else. We've also learned many organization and planning skills on this team. We do a lot of outreach events, so to keep us on the same page, we use an app called Discord to send out messages and resources for team meetings and events. This helps us work and collaborate efficiently as all resources are easily available. Since our team meets 2 to 3 times a week, if not more, we have to manage our time well. During discussion, when deciding to do an event or not, we go over the pros and cons of it, everyone's availability, how much time it would take, and if it would take away some of our free time, and then we vote on it through the majority. This makes students contribute their thoughts and opinions and can help us in school, sports, or even our career. Not only that, we have to present all of the work done in a season to a panel of judges every competition. So we set up times within our meetings to practice our presentational skills. We present in front of our coaches as if they were the panel, and at the end they give us feedback on how to improve our flow of speech, our body language, our tone, and our emphasis. They also ask us questions, as the actual panel would, and help us prepare for how to answer them, regardless of whether we've practiced that question or not. We are able to improve our public speaking skills through this. Thank you for listening.
All right. Well, you all did a great job, and I was struck by one of the facts that you mentioned, and that was the 25% female to 75% male. So what you are describing that you see at your level is what we see amongst adults right now. STEM jobs, computing, advanced manufacturing, engineering, are the highest paying jobs. And those jobs are held by 25% women. So if we want to address pay equity right now, we should be all following and doing what your robotics team is doing, because you are getting girls and young women engaged in STEM fields. So I love that you're doing that. And I love that you are also learning how to be CEOs. How do you be a CEO? You learn how to fundraise, you learn how to do public speaking and outreach. You could be future legislators or future elected officials, or you could have the next great idea for a company and be the CEO of a company that becomes a Fortune 500 company. So just thank you very much for all the great things that you are doing and for the tremendous presentation.
So Armored Artemises, man, you're impressive. I appreciate how you're raising awareness of addressing that gender equity issue and the drop-off piece. What I tuned into was, that kids, particularly girls, are excited about robotics and STEM, but then it drops off. And so what you all are doing is honing in on what happens, and to make sure that you're going to places that are not traditional STEM places, fairs and festivals, to just raise awareness. And I really appreciate the confidence by which you are growing in your communication style and your leadership style, and the application of STEM skills to other soft skills like time management, as you talked about. So really kudos to you for not only, learning your craft in terms of the robotics piece, but then, girls being more inclusive and accessible. I also appreciated your comments about inclusion of non-binary and trans girls, just to really make sure that we are spreading our net so wide that we don't leave any girls out. So thank you so much for all of your efforts, and go get them on the next competition. When is it? Oh, all right. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll be waiting with bated breath to find out how you all make out. Good for you. Please let us know, because we'll highlight you at a future meeting. So we're going to quickly ask if anyone has any brief subcommittee reports.
Lieutenant Governor, none of the subcommittees want to go after these amazing young women. So, but if anybody has any, try, but I wouldn't want to go after any of them, would you?
All right, well, in that case, seeing none, I'm just going to tell you that we have a few announcements of future programs, because we always have cool things that we're doing. So first, we are going to be using the Lieutenant Governor YouTube page to centralize all of our COAG recordings going forward, especially our women in leadership panels, so that more people can have access to those panels, because we've been highlighting women in law enforcement, women in manufacturing. We'll be doing something on women in firefighting shortly. So we want to make sure that students and young people and anybody who's interested has the opportunity to see some really talented women highlighted and learn about future career paths. So we encourage you to share those panels with folks that you think that might be interested. All right. So we are going to move on to the announcement portion of our agenda. So I will start, and if there's anybody who's watching who would like to put an announcement into the chat, you're welcome to do that. But I will start April 15th from 10 to 2 at the YG Club at the Yard Goat Stadium. Hartford Hospital is viewing the documentary Aftershock. This is going to be followed by a conversation of experts on the maternal health crisis. By the way, there's all kinds of really good legislation pending on addressing maternal and infant health and the disparities that exist in our state. Yep. And it is Maternal Health Week, I will say. On Wednesday, May 3rd, from 10 to 11 via Zoom, we're going to host a panel on women in leadership with firefighters talking about their careers, which is going to be great. And later that day, from 3:30 to 5:30, Million Women Mentors will host a Stand Up for STEM mentorship reception at CCAT. And if you need details on any of those, please reach out to Christine Jean-Louis, our esteemed general counsel, who's sitting over there running the Zoom. And next, our Economic Opportunity and Workforce Equity Subcommittee is scheduled to meet May 16th at 3. Education and STEAM is scheduled to meet on May 24th at 3. Health and Safety is scheduled to meet on June 12th at 10 a.m. Leadership is scheduled to meet on June 21st at 3 p.m. And our next full council meeting is scheduled for here, July 11th at 3 p.m. So do we have any other announcements either here or in the chat?
Nothing in the chat.
Okay, very good. Well, I want to thank Commissioner Durantis and all of you for joining us. And look at us, we're just finishing just after 4. We are hereby adjourned. Thank you all, impressive presenters, for joining us. Thank you so much.